Most people think they're chasing the wrong person. I think they're chasing the emotional experience that person creates. And those are two completely different problems to have. Think about somebody you just couldn't stop thinking about. Maybe they text just enough just to keep you interested, but never enough to make you feel secure. They disappear for days and then act like nothing happened. And you tell yourself you're done until their name lights up on your phone. You replay conversations. You reread old messages. You convince yourself that if they could just see what you see, everything would finally click. But little by little, they start taking up more space in your mind than they do in your actual life. And because they're occupying so much of your emotional world, you start thinking that there must be something incredibly special about the connection. You're not becoming attached to the person first. You're becoming attached to how they make your emotional world feel. Because emotional unavailability creates something healthy relationships don't: uncertainty. And uncertainty keeps your attention, because when something is unresolved, your mind keeps trying to solve it. Every text feels important. Every reply feels meaningful. Every small sign of interest feels like proof you're getting closer. Not because the relationship has more potential, but because your mind is trying to resolve the uncertainty. Eventually, you're no longer evaluating the relationship itself. You're evaluating how intensely it makes you feel. That's the pattern I keep noticing. People thought they were evaluating compatibility when they were actually responding to the emotional environment that relationship creates. That's when I realized this wasn't a compatibility problem at all. It was an emotional wiring problem. So what is emotional wiring? We all develop emotional patterns that teach us what love, closeness, and attraction are supposed to feel like. Once those patterns are familiar, your nervous system starts recognizing that emotional experience as chemistry. This is what I call emotional wiring. Emotional wiring isn't about who you're attracted to. It's about the emotional experiences your nervous system has learned to recognize as familiar. That's why two people can date the exact same person and have completely different reactions. One person walks away, and the other person can't stop thinking about them. Because attraction isn't just about the person in front of us. It's also about the emotional patterns you've learned to recognize. The next question becomes, why did you learn those patterns? That's where I start looking at the birth chart. I don't use astrology to predict who you'll marry. I use it to understand why certain emotional experiences feel like love in the first place. Two people can both struggle with emotionally unavailable partners for completely different reasons. One person's chart mistakes intensity for intimacy. Another may mistake being needed for being loved. And another may struggle through trusting consistency. So the behavior looks the same. The reason underneath almost never is. And that's why I built the framework first, and then I use astrology to personalize it. The framework tells us what pattern we're looking at, and the birth chart helps explain how that pattern uniquely shows up in you. So the next time you feel overwhelming chemistry with someone, don't immediately ask, do I like them? Instead ask, what happens to my attraction the moment the uncertainty disappears? Because the moment the uncertainty disappears, that doesn't necessarily mean the relationship lost its spark. It might mean your nervous system was responding to uncertainty, then more to the person themselves. Real attraction can survive emotional safety. If understanding yourself is more important to you than blaming yourself, you're in the right place. I make videos about astrology, relationships, and the hidden patterns that shape both. And if you want to understand your own emotional wiring even more deeply, I also create personalized astrology readings using your birth chart. I'd love to have you here. Subscribe for more videos or check out the shop below if you're ready to keep exploring.